Olipa Dube, and I'm from South Africa. I'm 34 years of age. I'm standing here in front of you to share my wonderful testimony of the wonderful deliverance that I got. This is the time to expose the kingdom of darkness and what the devil is doing in so many people's lives by deceiving them to believing that witchcraft, witch doctors, herbalists, traditional healers have a solution. And as a matter of fact, they don't. My testimony goes like this. Professionally, I am a registered nurse. So after completing my diploma, I went into business, into the nursing industry. I had a placement agency for nurses in South Africa. And in 2005, I was awarded a tender with the Department of Health, where I was supplying nurses to government hospitals on an ad hoc basis. My business was going very well. Everything was okay until I started experiencing problems. It was a life of problems every single day. Until one day, a friend introduced me to a witch doctor, a herbalist. I went there in search of solution for the problems that I was having in my business, in my life in general. So when I got there, they gave me the charms. From the first day you walk into a witch doctor's place, it's just charms given to you. So they gave me charms to try and help me with the problems that I was having. I found that when I was using those charms, they would work for a few days or a week, but soon afterwards, the problems will be worse than before. So the solutions that I was getting would either be temporary or would not work at all. And that caused me to move from one witch doctor to another in search of, a lasting solution or greater power. I kept on going on and on like that until one day I went to another witch doctor who then told me that those other witch doctors that I've been to before could not help me because I have a gift from the ancestors and I'm supposed to be a witch doctor. In our country, it's called inyanga or sangoma. So I agreed. To me at that time, I thought it was a solution. I agreed. I went through to the initiation school. They initiated me. From the very first day when you go to the initiation school, you are given charms. Charms are put all over your body. Incisions are made all over your body to put those charms to give you powers, to see what other people don't see, powers to be able to communicate with the spiritual world. So after I finished my initiation school, I went and I practiced as a traditional healer, a sangoma at that time. I have to explain that in our country, in this field, there are categories. Sangomas are basically an entry level into the industry. From there, as I was continuing to practice, I found that as a sangoma, my resources were limited. There were other things that I could not do because as a sangoma, you're not taught much. You are given just a little bit of knowledge and you are expected to depend on your initiator for problems that you cannot solve. So I found that as I was practicing, I would come across clients that would require assistance and I wouldn't be able to help them because my powers were sort of limited. So then I went in search of more powers and more knowledge to be able to practice to a broader scale into my field. So then I went to another initiator. I paid a lot of money. And then he taught me how to use plants, herbs, trees, to mix them with animal parts to produce whatever charms that you want to produce. When you're in a process of being taught, the schooling, also, charms are also used also in your own body, to enhance the knowledge quicker, to make you fit into the whole thing. So in that process of me learning how to use charms and all of that, I would also use charms on myself. So I also was living a life of using charms constantly on a daily basis in order to enhance my powers, in order to be in a level to communicate quicker, better on a daily basis. My routine daily was a routine of charms. From waking up in the morning, before I could speak to anyone, I would have to speak to the ancestors at my altar, thank them for what they did for me, ask for guidance. The spirits would come and they would communicate with me. They would tell me how my day was going to be like. They would tell me the challenges that I was going to meet, people that were going to come see me, or people that I was going to meet. And they would further on tell me the charms to use so as to be able to succeed through the day. Basically, the services that you provide, you are sort of like a one-stop shop. So you are expected to provide solution for a variety of problems. For an example, a client would come, a young lady would come, and she would say, I can't get married. No man looks at me. It's as if I'm invisible. No man comes to approach me to ask for marriage or anything like that. Then I'll be expected to assist her to get whomever that she wants. Sometimes you'd find that they want people who are already married. Sometimes they want pastors. Sometimes it depends, So depending on what and whom she wants, then that would be our point of departure. The stronger the person that she wants, the stronger the charms that we will have to use. So then we would come to an agreement. If she's willing to pay what I wanted to pay, we would go all the way to get what she wanted. And most of the time we got what we wanted. This is the information that Inyanga's traditional healers will not tell you. Even when you walk into their altar rooms and you find bottles of charms labeled, they don't use the correct names to label what's in the bottles, because should people know what's in there, I think they would run away. So when people come, they don't know, they just see powder. They don't know that this is actually an animal. So you would do incisions, put that animal together with other charms in this person's body, in this person's blood. That spirit would have entered the person at that time. Yes, the charm would, if it does provide a solution, it will be temporary. It will be okay for a month. And at that stage, that's when people start moving from one witch doctor to another. Because then they think maybe your charms are not powerful enough. The more they go to witch doctors, the more they use these charms, the more they go deeper and deeper into the problems. Which is the exact thing that was also happening to me as the witch doctor. The industry had made people to believe that there's a solution for everything. And you'd find that in the beginning, it might look like there is a solution for everything. But believe me, the solutions are not lasting. Instead, they put people into deeper and deeper spiritual problems. I could say the aim is to get people hooked. Because once a person gets hooked, I don't think it's possible to get them out. So you find that in a situation like that, people go in a hunting for greater power. And the more you hunt for greater power, the more you expose yourself into deeper problems. In this case, let's say a client comes and say, this lady is my enemy, and I want to destroy her or to teach her a lesson. In this case, we knew that the best way to create problems into a person's life is to get either a spiritual husband or a spiritual wife. So in this case, we would go to the graves to actually raise the spirit. And how you raise the spirit, you have to know your charms. You need to use those charms that you know that their purpose are to raise. They can raise anything. They can raise war, they can raise confusion, they can raise poverty. It depends on how you speak to them. I've had Christian clients, people who came to me calling themselves Christians or born agains, looking for help for the very same reasons that everybody else that came to me would be looking for someone else's husband, looking for this, someone else's job, looking for a promotion, a child, you know. So first of all, let's say a lady comes and she says, I want the pastor to marry me. The pastor is married, but I want the pastor to divorce his wife and marry me. We will do the same procedure. First of all, we've got to throw the bones and look into the pastor's life. When we're looking into this pastor's life, at that time I did not know. I only knew as weaknesses or entry points. You look into this pastor's life, how strong are they? The bones would tell you that this is a person of prayer, but this person can't control his temper. Then I know that, temper is my entry point. Or maybe this person's life of prayer is not constant. You know, some days he prays 7 times, some days he prays 2 times, some days he forgets. So I would watch for that day when he forgets to pray, to attack. Basically what we would do, we don't follow a person for a very long time. We would basically give it sort of like a 7-day period in monitoring this particular person. After the 7 days, if the person is consistent, then we will have to give up and try maybe after 6 months or later. But I've never had an encounter where in these 7 days, there was no weakness that I found. You know, that would assist me to penetrate this life of a person. So then, it will be like that. If we see that this person's problem is temper, then we're going to create situation in his life that would actually cause her to be temperamental all the time. You know, we create problems at work. We know that he's going to lose his temper. We create problems at home. He's going to lose his temper. Everywhere we create problems. When he's busy entertaining that life of temper, then we are able to penetrate. If a person is strong and consistent for that period of time, then we can't do much. We have to wait for some time. Maybe you tell the client let's wait for 3 months or 6 months. In the meantime, we try other things. Can they access their clothing? Can they get their pictures? You know, what is it that is in contact with this man's body that they can get for us so we can try and use? The powers that I had powers in my eyes, in my tongue, actually all over my body. Because if you were to take a good look at my body now, I have incisions everywhere. Further on, be able to identify where the problem is. So the powers that you have basically are to assist you to connect more with the spirits, because the spirits are now giving you information, knowledge on a continuous basis. So your life is you are supposed to be always connected to the spiritual world. Because for an example, if I'm in a mall and I'm standing next to a person, the spirit will be telling me, this person's name is so-and-so, and these are his problems. This is how it happens. So you just meet this person, and the spirits will start talking to you, telling you, this is so-and-so, these are his problems. And then you approach this person, Mr. So-and-so. Obviously, they'll be shocked. Who is this? Who's calling my name? You're like, no, my name is so-and-so. This is what I'm seeing in your life. There's problems in your life like this. You're not sleeping at night, or there's problems at work, or you're fighting with your wife. I can help you. Everybody is looking for a solution. once they hear the word, I can help you, they would actually put it together with the information that you've given them, and they'd be convinced that actually you have a solution. Then the next thing, you give them your phone, your contact numbers, they will call and make an appointment and come. We are actually providing solution to people. But when you are inside, you realize that there's no solution here. The solutions are temporary. They will either not work at all or they'll be temporary. There's no consultation for free. Consultation has got a charge, and the charge is only for consultation. And then subsequent to that, after we've identified the problems, if the person says, okay, can you help me now solve these problems? Then we move to the next level. When we move to the next level, then they have to pay. They pay according to the problem. The deeper the problem, the more the money. In the process, I found myself, having more and more problems into my business. As a result, I lost my business. I lost all my assets. I lost basically everything in that process. Then I realized that this thing is not working. I was very, very upset. I was very bitter. I was very angry. And I decided maybe it's time for me to find something else. But when I had made the decision to find something else, I had not made the decision to find God, because of the Christians that were coming for consultation. I did not know that in Christianity there was a solution. I went to a lot of other herbalists and traditional healers and witch doctors. They couldn't help me. Instead, my situation got worse and worse until I lost everything. Quite a few advices I have. First advice will be to Christians. If you want to be a Christian, be a Christian. People of God, the only solution is in Jesus Christ. There's no solution out there. People who go to traditional doctors and herbalists, hear it from me. There is no solution there. You will finish your money. At the end of the day, it will eat up even things that you did not get through them. Because there are things that they will give you, but they will eat those things and even eat those that you did not get from them. So there's no solution to herbalists, traditional healers, witch doctors. The only solution is Jesus Christ.